Okay, so it's almost midnight. Maybe not the best time to be making a video, but my mind's just like, ah! Um, hmm. I'm sorry about the washed out look. I don't know why it's doing that, but it works a bit better for me than what it was doing just beforehand, because I looked at myself in the camera and I was just like, not sure about this. So yeah, we'll stick to the sort of washed out, lights too bright, things doing what it is. Look, because yeah, that doesn't disturb me quite as much. Anyway, no, what's going on with me at the moment is, I'm just having this problem with things not feeling real and, just super confused about stuff going on in my brain. Yeah. And so I've been trying to look up, you know, what could be going on with me. The best I could come up with is depersonalisation slash derealisation disorder. But I'm nowhere near as bad as what they're describing. This falls under dissociative disorders, which yeah, interesting place for me to go to. But yeah, it's also listed under dissociative disorders. I found this great list. Sorry if my talking's a bit weird. I've already put my plates in because I'm going to bed. But yeah, no. What retainers, the little invisible things. You can't see them with this lighting, and it's not meant to be seen anyway. No. On topic. So I found this list of psychological disorders, and of course I've just been going through this massive list, going, yeah, no, that's not me. That's not me either. Blah 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 blah. I think in the past I would have been the opposite, going like, oh yeah, that could be me, and diagnosing myself with everything. But yeah, nothing fits. But if you're into psychological disorders and want to go and diagnose yourself with a gazillion things, maybe I'll put the link in the description if I remember. Yeah, no, it goes through quite a lot of stuff. So it's like, I think there's like maybe 15 different categories, and it lists quite a lot. So not bad. But yeah, under number 5, dissociative disorders, we've got dissociative amnesia, which as far as I know, I don't experience. I mean, would I know if I had forgotten something? Maybe not, because I would forget that I had forgotten something. But no, I don't think so. I think it's more just your normal memory thing where you don't really think about something, then all of a sudden you're reminded of something, which is a different thing. But yeah, no. Then dissociative identity disorder, which is a fun one. Basically multiple personality disorder, split personality disorder, and as someone who is a little bit obsessed, if you can see any of my fiction there, yeah, and then some of the ways that I've defined myself. There's that, and then there's also depersonalization, derealisation disorder, which I think is a little bit more relevant to what I'm feeling, but not quite that extreme. So that's the best I could come up with. And isn't it typical that nothing fits me? The only disorder that has ever fit me is major depressive disorder, and I guess dysthymia, which they now call, I think, persistent depressive disorder. I don't know, I can't keep up. Yeah, wow, it's really washed me out, hasn't it? That's okay, we can deal with that. It's more about speaking, you don't need to see me. This, by the way, is how I'm feeling. Oh my god. Yeah, no, if I can try and stay on topic, just I've been so tired, and today, just sitting around, I don't even know what I've been doing. I took a nap because I had a bit of a headache. Maybe this is tying into stuff I was talking about, I think last time, about feeling empty and like, who is this? This is past me. I remember putting stuff there, but it doesn't feel like it was me, and I think that is connecting into this general feeling of disconnection. So, the whole who am I? My memories feeling like they're not really mine, but they are. That sort of messed up sense of self. So those internal things, I think, are more depersonalization, where you sort of disconnected from yourself. Although it depends a little bit on which source you're reading. They have a link to a more detailed summary, but then I think, did Wikipedia have something slightly different? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know with some of these disorders because, there's so many diagnostic manuals now and different things, and then some people are using older definitions, and then some websites are just downright unreliable anyway. But yeah, no, you can read about some of that stuff. But yeah, no, depersonalization is feeling disconnected from yourself, if I oversimplify it. Whereas derealization is feeling like the world doesn't feel real. And I've been having a bit of that too. So later than normal today, I took Hope out for a walk, thinking maybe I just need to get some air. But it was like walking out in the streets, I was like, huh, this actually feels worse. Nothing quite feels real. And another problem is like, what is my place in all this? It just feels like I feel like I'm sort of floating through the world, completely inconsequential. Um, I don't know. Like, it's really hard to explain. I think though there was one thing I was looking at that was saying, um, yeah, the one that's linked on the one that I'll put in the description. Alexithymia, an inability to recognize or describe emotions. Now, I know what I'm feeling, I just don't know what to call it. Um, so that's interesting. But no, there's a lot of stuff in there that is much more severe than what I'm experiencing, but I'm having just enough of this feeling that stuff's not quite real for it to be um, frustrating, I guess, for it to be unnerving or, I don't know, uncomfortable. Uncomfortable in some way. Um, Yeah, and the closest I can find is this rather extreme disorder. So, would you say I had a disorder? Probably not, because I can still function, I guess. But then, what even is functioning? Can I actually function? I mean, I can barely do any real work, like, people do their 9 to 5s or, work full time. Um, Good luck to me with that. So, I guess the things I go through um, does interfere with my life. So, would you classify things as a disorder? I don't know, but I don't think anything quite fits me. So, there's that problem still, even after going through this list of 15 categories and then it breaks it down into other little things within it. And it's like, oh my god. But no, the feelings of, like disconnection from pieces of myself, I guess, and then also like disconnected from reality. I've sort of had on and off for ages. I think it tends to mostly happen when I'm depressed, but I'm not really depressed at the moment, not officially. Um, you could probably say some of the emptiness I've been going through is indicative of depression. Like, it's possible to be depressed without feeling sad, but I'm not sure at what point you would say that it counts. Um, yeah, no, right now it's pretty bad. Um, just like I don't know what to do every day because I just feel so weird. Um, and so like I even just sat on my bed for a bit and was trying to think, and I think I mentioned the other day I was just sitting out in the yard watching bees and thinking about stuff, and I think like it's all kind of a similar thing where I'm just like I'm trying to sort through this stuff in my head, but it's not really getting anywhere. So here I am talking to YouTube again. Um, yeah, fuck, it's messing with my head. And yeah, I can't figure it out. And it would be nice if one of these things fit, but nothing does. Um, God. But yeah, no, there's a sense of unreality, disconnection from memories, feelings, consciousness, to an extent. A lot of emptiness, a lot of who am I, what do I want, where am I going, what should I be doing with life, um, confusion, and just feeling some confusing things. And then, oh gosh, I need to scroll dissociative identity disorder out of the way because that's awfully distracting. Um, but no, I feel like anytime I look up some of these conditions, at best, I only have like a mild case. Apart from depression, everything else that seems like it could fit me is too mild to actually say I have something. So, uh, like anxiety on those questionnaires when you go see the psychologist, apparently I always test highly for anxiety, but just not enough. And I'm not bothered enough by it to be a disorder. OCD, I'm obsessive, but not compulsive and not enough for it to count for anything. We've been through the whole autism thing. Like, yeah, there's some stuff about socializing, I guess, maybe, but really not enough. Like, I'm picky about fabrics, I suppose, but why would you wear something uncomfortable? and it's not like I'm gonna have a meltdown just from wearing the wrong fabric. Yeah, I mean, and they're so vague about what counts as autism these days. I feel like that's one of the things that's being overdiagnosed. Um, but anyway, yeah, no, it doesn't quite fit me. Way back, schizoid personality disorder, when I was more shy, probably fit better, but now that I'm older and I don't give a fuck. I'm like, yeah, no, that doesn't fit. Um, oh god, they did personality disorders down the bottom. Blah, 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 blah. Schizotypal wouldn't fit either. I think that was closely related to schizoid, but it's more about, like, I guess looking where it's, what this one says is features eccentricities in speech, behaviors, appearance, and thought, which I guess maybe I have to an extent, but I don't think enough that it would count. I think I'm just like an unusual person, and let's leave it at that. It's also got something to do with odd beliefs or magical thinking and difficulty forming relationships. I don't have difficulty forming relationships, I just don't give a fuck. Um, no, magical thinking. I guess the magical thinking at best would be this alternate personality, the destroyer character. Although, would you call that more of like an imaginary friend? Because they don't consider imaginary friends, in children at least, to be disordered. Yeah, no. Lost my train of thought there. Anyway, no, I've been thinking a lot about that side of things because I'm now that I say it out loud, yeah, no, I'm not a child anymore. So I would have grown out of things, you'd think. But that's not really an imaginary friend either. It's more a feeling I have in me that I'm not exactly a coherent person. Um, And it's difficult to talk about because I'm inclined to chicken out, and I think that's because I have very high defenses when I'm talking about that side of things. Also, it hasn't been as strong as it was in the past when I was first YouTubing. But yeah, no, I have been intentionally watching Buffy. I finally finished it. Oh my god. Oh my god, you guys. Buffy has so much love bullshit in it. I'm so glad to be done with it. I can't even. Um, oh shit, I could go through that dream I had. I didn't mean to ramble this much, so let's just call this another ramble vlog. But no, so birthday ramble back then, feeling empty and about music, directionless. I think I've done a few vlogs about that. But no, around then I started watching Buffy, trying to make myself feel more Destroyer things, because if I watch that kind of fiction, split personality fiction, I think it's taps into sort of like an empathy thing, and so I start feeling things related to characters that I relate to. Related to, oh my god, I use the same word too many times. But no, like, watching movies, I'm sure a lot of people have this experience where you're watching a movie and like some character sticks with you for a while. It's just that the characters I seem drawn to tend not to be the ones that you're supposed to associate with. Oh my god, and that brings me back to that. I fucking can't. Okay. I'm gonna try really hard not to chicken out of this vlog because paper vampires, like, oh no, it'll be interesting. Okay, where I lost my train of thought. Associating with the wrong characters. Okay, I'm not sure if I've told this story before, but I have a disabled brother, and one of the things they did when we were kids is we went to a, like, siblings of disabled kids, activity thing. We used to go a lot. I used to like the Sherbies, but when they stopped giving us Sherbies, I stopped trying to do nice things. I don't want a piece of fruit. Give me a damn Sherby, you dicks. Anyway, I was actually telling a friend this. I'm sorry if there's heaps of pauses. I'm just like, really, my thoughts are all fucking mess. Yeah, no, at this place, right, every now and then, like, they did this meditation thing. Maybe it was only once, I don't know. But it's like one of those things where they're like, you close your eyes, you're all lying on the floor, and because you're kids, you can't do like normal meditation. It needs to be guided, imagining things meditation. And so the thing they got us to imagine is like you're in a garden. do we want to do meditation? Okay, guys, close your eyes. There's nothing to look at here anyway, right? Close your eyes, breathe, and try not to giggle. Just like be calm, and all that bullshit. No, and imagine yourself in a garden. It's a nice garden. Maybe it's even a secret garden. And there's a bench in the garden, and you're meeting your special friend there, which sounds a bit creepy now that I'm older, but no, there was a special friend you're going to meet on this bench. And I'm not sure who I was supposed to imagine as this friend. Like, was it supposed to be a real person? Was it supposed to be like a superhero or something? Some special friend you can hang out with, chat to, maybe, whatever. My special friend was one of the bad guys from Power Rangers. I don't even remember what he's called, but it might have been the original Power Rangers, back when it was all dinosaurs instead of whatever the fuck they did later. And the bad guy was like this flytrap man, and he had this sort of chest cavity that was like the flytrap thing, and he like, I don't know if this was when he was a giant or when he was like small size, because they do that becoming giant thing. And he like sucked in all the Power Rangers and like had them trapped in this sort of fly trap kind of thing. Yeah, bad guy. That was my special friend. Of course, I didn't tell anyone that. I had at least that much sense, but yeah, no. So connecting with the wrong kinds of characters. This is me growing up as a good little Catholic girl. Maybe it's because they spend so much time insisting that you're a sinner when you're too young to have done anything yet or to have understood anything about life yet. They're just saying, you're bad, you have to seek forgiveness, all this kind of shit. And so I sit there wondering, gee, what have I done? Now I've got to make up stuff. Maybe I am bad. Maybe that's why I invent for myself, this darker, demonic sort of personality. And I can chuck all my baggage into that character, and then I can stay good little Catholic girl, and this creature can be whatever it wants to be. And then, whoopsie daisy, that doesn't work because it's all me anyway. So then I have to put up with this compartmentalization of, who I fucking am. And now that I'm on that tangent, thanks a lot, Paper Vampire. We're going on a lot of sidetracks, and it's all your fault that I'm back here fucking doing this. I don't know how many of you guys were around or how many of you guys remember whatever I did vlog about when I had relationships before my ex was all like, I'm not a jealous guy, but I don't like all these people watching you on YouTube. Thanks a lot. You knew I was a YouTuber before you fucking got together with me. Anyway, no. To deal with that relationship, do you guys remember I invented like a third person to deal with all that kind of bullshit, because I'm just like, I'm not a lovey-dovey person. How am I going to deal with being in a relationship? My brain will just sort of create a new person, and there you go. And that doesn't feel like me either. Like, why would I do that? This is like, it's so long ago that I'm completely disconnected from that. Yeah, I'm getting cold. I think maybe also anxiety is kicking in as I'm talking about this stuff again. But no, I did all my exercises and sort of warmed up, and now I'm cooled down again. Anyway, no, that brings up the question, why did I get into a relationship in the first place? And I think like most of my life, it comes to this darker character of the Destroyer. Because I think he was the first real person, like real life person I opened up to about that stuff. And he didn't freak out, and he took it probably a little bit too seriously and encouraged it a bit too much. So then there's this character in my head going, he's someone that's handy. You should spend more time with him. But me being me, unfeeling bitch, I gotta create another person to do that. Thanks fucking a lot. And now I sound like a real psycho, and that was just after we were scrolling through, and I'm like, yeah guys, I don't have dissociative identity disorder, but I don't, because I don't lose my memory. I just feel detached, especially like as time goes on. Did I mention last time, being like 10 years old or something and thinking, gee, I'm a lot smarter than I used to be, and then the next week thinking, gee, 1 week ago me was stupid. Like, I have that kind of disconnection, because like, what are you but your memories, really? Like, I mean, I guess other brain changes happen, but from your own perspective, your memories kind of define who you are, maybe, your memories and your thoughts, right? And so as you grow older, you gain more memories, and if you have more memories now than you did when you were a kid, are you really the same person? Because also you forget things as you get older. This was one of the better things about, I think, Moffat's era of Doctor Who, where they had that immortal chick. Just like as she gets older, she can't remember things she did 200 years ago, and she tries writing them in diaries and gets frustrated at the Doctor because he's naturally long lived, so he doesn't seem to have quite as much of a problem with memory, although he, I guess with all the personality changes, he probably does get fucked up about it. But no, because she's just a human who happens to live for ages, her memory fades over time. And, like, how many of you guys remember everything you did as a kid? Not many, probably. You remember some events, but not all of them. So, really, are you the same person as when you were a kid? And that doesn't even bring into that whole thing of, like, all the chemicals coming into your body, replenishing your cells, and then your cells are, like, probably don't even have the same atoms as when you were a kid anyway. So, like, how much are you the same person? I'm sorry if I'm fucking people up about this with all my existential bullshit. The existential stuff doesn't help with this feeling of not being real and the world not being real. And, like, I think with the stuff about life not feeling real and everything being kind of like disconnected and detached, the existential stuff really doesn't help with that. And I also just had a thought, but it's escaped me again because I was like, wait a minute, nothing feels real. Oh, but no, I think, oh, that was it. Like, when I was younger, like, when you're at school, everything has a place. Like, you know what you're going to be doing next year, more school, just the next level up. And I think I did okay with that. But then you go out into the adult world and suddenly you have to be an adult and, like, do stuff with your life, make money, survive, whatever. And I have failed pretty badly at that. You go to uni. Oh my god, how many unis have I been to? How many courses have I tried and dropped out of? And you're supposed to get a job, and I'm a real mess, and I don't fit that picture I was told of what life should be like. So I'm just like, well, if it's not that, what is it? And nothing else in my life is really going anything like. I don't have a direction, so, like, am I even real? There was something else I thought I was going to talk about. Maybe I need to go back and watch what I was saying before I sort of freaked out. Paper vampire. Did I tell you what I was going to talk about? Don't think so. I was just freaking out, wasn't I? Oh no, I've said a lot already. Maybe I'll watch what I said before and... I hate watching myself sometimes though, especially when I'm awkward. Talking about awkward things in the middle of the night when I'm not sure if I'm even quite with it. But this is what you guys are waiting for, isn't it? Me to snap. No, what I was talking about, Buffy, and oh my god, I'm so glad I'm done with this. Ah, the dream I had, that's what I was going to talk about. But yeah, no, tomorrow night I think I finally get on to Angel because, like, Buffy is not bad. It's just, like, all the teenager crap that I can't relate to. Like, I don't know if it's because American high school might be different to Aussie high school, or if it's just that I had a weird high school experience, or I wasn't really quite there for a lot of, like, school was not the place for me. So I spent a lot of time on the internet writing an RPG thing, text-based RPG. So we were essentially collaboratively story writing, except we each had characters we were responsible for, and that's where the Destroyer name comes from. I didn't mean that to happen. It just happened one day. Shall we get into some of that while I'm just, like, blurting everything out, wondering if I'm going to delete this? Just fucking paper vampire making. So, who's read Animorphs? There's a book in Animorphs where they come across an online forum where Yerks are talking about whatever. And, like, the mind control in Animorphs, which I have behind there, I have the whole series, right? That mind control fits into the split personality thing because you've got you and then you've got Alien Bug, and, that's for a while, like, that for a while I couldn't put stuff in my ears because of that series because I was super paranoid. No, it just felt weird. Anyway, trying to keep my brain on topic. They find an online forum where your yerks are talking about stuff, and they even give the website. So me being me, I looked up the website, and it's a real website, and you go to the forum section, and people are role-playing yerks and stuff, and so I had fun with that. Also, like, you can write anything. You didn't even have to sign in, you just say what your name is. So yeah, there were periods where I just wrote a bunch of shit that didn't even mean anything. But no, then there was like the more proper role playing thing, and that's where I got my character in, and I mixed it in with like, I think like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and stuff. Like, fuck Animorphs, let's bring everything in. But at some point, that earthisours.com got switched to like some monster pro boards thing, and so we all had to shift over there, and that's where everything started to go really like. I had a few characters, but then we did have to log in, and you could make as many accounts as you want, I suppose, but in my main account, you had to choose an avatar, like a little picture, and the ones I don't think you could upload back then. This was in the early zeros, like early. Yeah, I don't know. The internet just wasn't that sophisticated yet. You know those PHP boards? I think it was one of them. And you had to choose an avatar, and the only one that I found appealing was this sort of evil eye thing, because of course I would. And so I'm trying to justify, okay, I'm supposed to be one of the good guys, why am I picking this? And that's when I'm like, okay, my character used to be this destroyer thing, and so I'm like, that's why I have that. But actually, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. You guys can trust me, totally trust me. And so that's the origin of the name. But I, before that, had a lot of the similar feelings that from that character, like, oh my god, let's not talk about primary school. Maybe I'll leave that for another day, because how deep do we want to go down the rabbit hole tonight? Since it's past midnight and I don't know what I'm doing with myself. I was just like always paranoid about people being able to read my mind, and yeah, I may have told primary school teachers some stuff. And they're like, no, you can't do. I don't want to get into that right now, cause yeah, I've been fucked up for a long time. But it was the name came through this whole online RPGing thing. And there's so many stories, and I kind of miss it because, I'd go to school during the day, do my maths nerd thing, get 100% on the year 7 and 8 quizzes. After that, it gets a bit harder, so you have to study a bit. And I didn't learn how to study until year 12, really. I used to just wing everything because it was so easy for me back then. But so I'd go to school during the day, be the quiet, good girl. Everyone thought I was heaps religious, which I'm like, yeah. Not since year 5, probably, or maybe earlier. I don't remember exactly when I lost all that. Yeah, and then I'd go home, get on the internet with the dial up, and be like up at 2 in the morning writing these RPGs with some American friends. There was eventually a core of 3 people, and then one dude dropped out, and it all fell apart when one dude decided he was pretty religious and we were a bad influence and all this kind of stuff. But I still have him on Facebook. He seems to have gotten on with his life a lot better than me. Oh my god. I don't even know if I'm giving you guys enough information to understand everything that went down in my double life of high school during the day and writing violent shit at night. But that got me through high school, and then it's sort of after that I think I went a bit more off the rails because I didn't have the outlet, and that's probably why I went from, like, dropped out of uni the first time. I just did like a general course because I had no idea what I wanted to do. Science and arts combined would have taken me 5 years, and I was just like, why am I doing this? People lied to me. They said maths is better when you go to uni. It's not true. It's terrible, and the people in it are odd. I mean, I know I'm odd, but this is a different kind of odd, and no, I couldn't, like, we're going to talk about uni some other time. But no, my choices in a lot of stuff. I think I was going to talk about this as, like, trying the relationship thing, also trying things like art. I thought maybe performance art would work. And then music, things like that is like, how can I find an outlet for this side of me that's socially acceptable and not going to get me into any big trouble? But it's not quite worked out that way. I've tried other things as well, but we won't go into that right now. I don't think I really... Oh, why am I still making this vlog? Anyway, no, so point being, a lot of the choices I've made in life have been heavily influenced by this divide in what's going on in my head, which I think I'm being very incoherent about right now. There's also depression, which has influenced a lot of stuff too, and then there's just like my random pursuit of nerdiness and novelty. Like, I've tried a whole bunch of crafts and stuff. I still have all this shit here, but like, like the little fluffy toy things I made, the pom-pom things, like I'm just constantly getting these new skills, going from thing to thing. Maybe this thing will fix me this time. Where are those little... I had Plastimate kit somewhere, and I've got Femo things somewhere. So I'm not going to pretend all my life choices are from Destroyer stuff, but that's a huge part of things. Anyway, no, what I was actually going to talk about before going on another ramble was my dream. Not last night, the night before. God, and I saw in my Facebook memories all these other dreams I had on the same day, 5 years ago and 2 years ago. Holy shit. But no, the dream a couple nights ago, because I've been watching Buffy, right? I had this heaps intense dream about Wesley, who's like the new watcher in season 3, noticing something off about me. And then I've got Giles all of a sudden with this big cross in my face. I'm not a vampire in this dream. And trying to exorcise me as if I'm like possessed, but I'm not. I'm just like this. And it is sort of the idea that oh yeah, I started laughing because I'm like, there's nothing you guys can do about this. Like, that sort of, how like evil characters laugh because you guys are fucked and it's hilarious. Yeah, stuff like that. I've written it on Facebook, so but I don't think I can convey in the text that I wrote on Facebook like how intense this dream was, and I don't know that I can describe it because I'm not in that space. It was a couple nights ago, but then yesterday and today watching Buffy, very unexpectedly, it turns out I still feel hostile towards Giles because of that. And this is once I've woken up. I know it's not real. I'm not even in that side of me. I'm just watching it, and I just feel like, bloody hell, back the fuck off. And there was no particular scene last night. It's just like he appears in the episode, and all of a sudden I'm like and then tonight I watched the double episode finale, Graduation Day. I think the two things that annoyed me, I mean, when he appeared, I was like, there he is again. But no, there's the scene where they find out that they've never faced a pure demon before, like it's all been hybrids, and he's like, oh shit, and you can just see like he's looking up, and that look on his face. And then also after Angel admits to drinking Buffy because that was the only cure for the poison he had or something, and she kind of made him, the look on Giles's face then, I'm just like, you fucking want a piece of me? And it's completely irrational. It's just like this reaction after that dream, and so now I'm like, fuck, can I watch any more of Buffy? Like, this is the last season I have anyway, season 3, because that's when Angel leaves. I like to think of Angel as an 8-season show, and you just have to get through 3 seasons of it in Buffy form. Yeah, anyway, no, Angel's much more relatable. Also, the show's a lot darker. Here's me trying not to sound like a psycho, saying I relate to the guy who is a demon with a soul, and yeah, but he's also less social. He's less social, that's why he's relatable, not because I'm crazy. Oh, This is what happens when I vlog after midnight. I'm not quite with it. I really need to go to bed. Ah. But no, also something I'll put in the description, depending on what country you're in, because it doesn't work everywhere. My favorite Jekyll and Hyde is on YouTube, for free. This one, it's on YouTube for free. DVD is only 480p though, and they've got it on YouTube in 1080p full HD. My current favorite Jekyll and Hyde. So I will link that. I put it in my community tab, but I know a lot of you guys don't really see that. So that's exciting. If you watch it, there's the scene where he's talking about the first time Hyde emerges into the world, and oh, do we want to go there? That scene. I don't want. Anyway, no, you just. I really need to get to bed, and like I skipped through to that scene and I trimmed it out and I've got it saved, and yeah, no, interesting things happen. I don't have that book I tore in half one time, but I do have this with a horrible line down that, like, there's not even any order to this. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna fuck up your book, and there you go. And after making myself completely crazy, maybe I should go to bed before I think one of the reasons I get insecure is because it's not as strong, so there's not as much of a push to say things about what's going on in my head. Although the whole point of watching Buffy was to try and bring it back, because that's where I got sidetracked. I was talking before about feeling empty and the whole birthday ramble, like, is music the right thing for me? I think that was the birthday ramble. I could be talking, maybe it was a different video, I don't even know. I don't remember which thing is which. But no, I was thinking about, like, all that and worried about becoming depressed. The Claritine didn't help. That hasn't helped my sense of reality, that a chemical can just knock me off balance. Who even am I? Chemicals, apparently. God knows what's going on with the wiring. But no, with the depression stuff, right, and the emptiness. With emptiness, the emptiness is either going to be filled by depression, or I need to find something else to fill it. So that's why I'm like, well, I don't even know. Like, there was a period for a while, I think last year, where I actually felt kind of happy sometimes, instead of just like meh. But no, that's gone now. Like, I think this year's just fucked me up too much. Like, even before COVID, it was screwing with me, putting me in crutches and all this kind of stuff. And I think I can't even. And like, good things, good feelings, good stable feelings don't last very long for me. I think we've figured that out by now. So yeah, we're back to this sort of emptiness, risk of a depressive spiral, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and nip this in the bud with a different form of crazy, but at least it's not sad crazy. And that's one of the things about Destroyer. Why am I so, like, I've already said so much in this video, why am I still so insecure about it, right? I don't know. I think this is just part of my defense, because, like, I know it sounds crazy and I don't want to sound crazy, so I'm just like, no, guys, don't listen to me. It's none of this is real. I'm just making shit up. Yeah, anyway, no, one of the things that did help me with depression earlier on is I did have that sense of crazy, and there was a point, I'm sure I mentioned like years ago, maybe I don't want to live, but at least there's a part of me that does want to live. Maybe I should make more of my life about that part of me, and that's part of the thing about trying to find outlets, is like, I kind of want to die, let's just live for the part of me that wants to live, if that makes any sense. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah, no, feeling depressed and empty now. I mean, maybe one of the reasons I felt super depressed for 2 years is because that part of me just fucked off. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but, so I didn't have that to help me through it. I had to get through it on my own, basically, which now feels kind of lonely. Why? Oh, my brain is really out of control right now. Yeah, no, so the point of like watching Buffy and heading towards Angel, oh my god, that Eternity episode got coming up at some point. Woo! The point of that was to trigger the empathy thing or whatever it is, the things that I relate to, triggered that so that I can get more of that old persona back because I would rather feel crazy than depressed. Depression is just like so crippling. And also, like, if I can get enough of the crazy in the right way and channel it the right way, maybe I can actually be motivated and do something with my fucking life. Anyway, so that was the point of that. Where was I going with things? I don't remember. I don't remember. I got sidetracked again. What was I just talking about? I actually don't know. Hang on, guys. Let me just. Yeah, I don't know. I think actually maybe I was done. It's just like there's so much going on in my brain at the moment that it's hard to keep things straight and to like figure out. Because I guess like, is this coping strategy healthy? Maybe not. I don't know. I just get so anxious, and I think one of the problems. Maybe I was going to talk about reasons I feel insecure. I don't know. Um, yeah, no, I think I was actually. Wow, I just like sort of skipped through bits in the video and I'm like, no. But now that I'm thinking of it, yeah, no, I think I'm insecure partly because like it's been so long, it's not as present. I'm not in practice about talking about it. Also, there's a lot more people who know me in real life and know where my online presence is, and that makes me feel a little bit like, oh my god, real people might think I'm crazy. Um, why do I care though? People already know I'm insane or, just weird. I don't know. I guess like I've got family on Facebook and I'm sure some family know that I vlog still. I mean, I got in trouble a long time ago for saying bad things about weddings, I think, years back. That was when I had a lot less social awareness, maybe, or I don't know. I was much crazier back then and less stable. Whereas now, I still have crazy things about me, but I think I'm more grounded in reality and I maybe understand more how I affect other people, and maybe upset other people with some of the things that I maybe say or do. And then, like, yeah, the way my last depression sort of rewired my brain to be like, shit, I would be really fucked if people didn't care about me and look after me and so on. I think some of that plays into not wanting to seem crazy, and just being heaps insecure about the stuff that goes on in my head. Even though, like, I'm definitely not the only one. And I mean, maybe I'm the only one who conceptualizes or compartmentalizes the different pieces of what I think about. But, like, there's people who write heaps gory movies, for example. They think about violent stuff. Is there anything really that wrong with it? But, it's not like anyone actually does anything, really. Uh, anyway, no, stuff I'm insecure about. But no, mostly at the moment, I'm just like trying to figure out my head. Things don't feel quite right. I don't think the pandemic's helping, but it's also something that I've felt on and off for ages. Just like, what even is life? I don't really know what to do with myself. Uh, but yeah, no. Something that I've been thinking about is like, I've been feeling some of this stuff again. Is it a healthy coping strategy? I can't think of any other coping strategies that have worked for me though. Like, it might not be the healthiest, but I see results. I'm not heaps depressed like I was, but I am heaps confused. So I've traded one thing for another, but at least confusion isn't like depression where I'm just like, yeah, the last depression I could barely function, so I'm doing better than that at least. Um, but no, and I've sort of contemplated, okay, if it's not a healthy coping strategy, and then for all this other stuff where I just don't feel like the world is real, like for the more normal problems, should I see someone about it? But then I would have to explain this stuff that I'm heaps insecure about, and I would have to explain it in a medical context where it might have more consequences. And I'm not sure that I'm ready for that. And this is one of the things about with autism, right? I would, if, like, I don't think I have it, but we would have to go and get me assessed to confirm whether I have it or not. And one of the things that put me off is if I want an accurate diagnosis, I would have to tell them a lot more about what's actually going on in my head. And there's so much stuff I've never told a psychologist. Like, it's very easy for me to talk about depression, but when it comes to some of the weirder stuff my brain does, insecure. And, yeah, why does my brain do that? And there was something else, but it just escaped me because I got insecure. And then I was distracted by that thought of being insecure. No, and psychologists only know as much as you tell them anyway. Like, if you wanted to get a specific diagnosis, all you would have to do is look up the right symptoms and then tell them something that fits that. And I've also heard of this, this is going to be a really long video if I post it. Fucking paper vampire. There was this study I read about a long time ago, so I don't know if it's true or if it's just my memory getting things mixed up, but I think I read about a study where they got a bunch of normal, healthy people, psychologically healthy people, to go get themselves assessed by psychologists and whoever, and they would say everything legit, normal stuff, but they would throw in one lie, which is that they could hear voices. That one fact led to a lot of them getting a diagnosis of schizophrenia, just because that's what they said. That's the one thing they said. No other symptoms reported, they just claimed they heard voices and they got a diagnosis of schizophrenia. So, like, yeah, psychology is not a perfect science, that's for sure, and one of the easier to manipulate ones, I think. And seeing some of the student papers that come out of it, I'm just like, or the quizzes that sometimes you get asked to do. Bloody hell, wow. I don't hold it in high esteem with student stuff, at least. Anyway, so something psychology. Do I talk about my problems? I don't know. There was something else in there. I think I'm too tired to keep oh my god, it's almost 1 a.m. What am I doing here? I'm gonna be so fucked up in 5.5 hours when I have to get up to do Hope's meds. Tomorrow's gonna be a write-off. But I already had a nap today, and maybe that's why I'm still awake. I told myself I'd go to bed earlier. I'm almost ready. I just need to change into my pajamas. But no, I would have to talk to them about what's actually going on in my head. Not sure that I'm ready for that. What else was I going to say? I don't know. I did once try and talk about some of this stuff to a psychologist, but I think all I said is, like, sometimes I don't really feel like me, and she just shut me down, was like, everyone feels like that sometimes, and I'm like, great way to shut me down. You're not going to ask me why, because maybe that's an important thing to ask, and why am I bringing it up? It's a bit like the first time I raised the question of autism with my doctor, and she's like, you don't have it. She'd ask me why. Of course, it turned out she was thinking about it. Just like at the time, I don't like being shut down. And I have this sort of dual terror. If I talk to a proper psychologist or medical person about shit going on in my head, on the one hand, there's the fear of them being dismissive, and on the other hand, I guess there's a fear of them taking it too seriously. So of course I have to have concerns that are extreme. So much of my thinking goes with extremes like that, and holding two different views simultaneously, and that's not even related to the character stuff. That's just how I think. I think that's why I'm a centrist, because I see both sides of, like, politics, for example, and I'm like, can't make up my mind on that either. Can't make up my mind on anything. I'll just, like, go with whatever works at the time to keep me out of trouble, maybe. I don't know, I really need to go to bed. I think I've just completely lost the plot and it's all verbal vomit, because I can't remember what I was going to say. I'm not going to go back and check. This has been another Ramble vlog. And you can blame Paper Vampire for anything weird about it, because I was going to delete the first bit and not go on and on. But, this is your fault. I need to go to bed. Oh my god. Alright, it's the next day. I'm still in my pajamas. It's almost midday. Oh my god. Thank you to past me for. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh god. Yeah, anyway. No, I'm just back to add a couple of things that I've thought about, so that I don't think I included. So one thing was all the things I feel with different personas and so on. When I was younger, because I was crazier, I was convinced that I was making everything up because, yeah, when I'm getting in that headspace, things feel different and I think I behave differently. And I was pretty sure, like, no, I'm definitely just role playing this. I'm making everything up. But now that I'm older and I'm trying to be a little bit more stable in my life, getting my fingers stuck in my hair, I'm kind of like, huh, maybe I wasn't. Maybe there is something weird going on in my head. And that was sort of one of the thoughts about why I was like, maybe I need to talk to someone about it. And that's why I was looking up all those disorders and being like, how would I even describe what I'm feeling without making it sound like something it's not? And I think the words derealisation and depersonalisation probably help, but are still a bit too strong. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so that was the thing. Maybe I'm not making it up. Maybe I am legitimately a bit crazy, or maybe the other thing though, I could be misinterpreting different emotions. Like maybe it's not adrenaline, or maybe it is. I don't know. Like, how do you really know what something feels like if you've never been anyone else and you don't know how someone else experiences particular things? I don't know. It's like, did anyone watch the Zeta Project? And they, like, these kids ask him what does it feel like to be a robot, and he's never been anything but a robot, so he just says heavy. It's like if you asked a cat what's it like to be a cat has never been anything but a cat. Does it know what it's like, how it compares to being a human? No. So, in terms of how things feel, maybe what I feel is normal and people just call it something else. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just more aware of the way that I go into different states of mind than other people are. I don't know. If you watch some people, there was this one girl in primary school, and here I go on another ramble. There was this one girl in primary school, though, and depending on the situation, her voice would change quite a lot. And like, I don't know that she noticed it. I haven't seen her in years, so I don't know if it's still a thing. But like, when you're working in retail, for example, and you're all like, "Hi, how can I help you?" and all this kind of crap, and then you're like talking to your friends, and you're like, "Ah, shit, mate." You have different ways of speaking in different situations. That's pretty normal. A lot of this stuff though is when I'm on my own, and so there's not really any reason to slip into different ways of being. So, yeah. Anyway, no, try not to sound too crazy, but I'm tired enough that I'm still talking about this stuff. I haven't even looked at what I did last night, so I'm a little bit nervous still. But hey, we're still too tired to think straight, so that will be my excuse if I come across as a little bit. And then the other thing, so with the third persona, I was like, people might ask questions. Does that still exist? No, it doesn't. I think that was purely just something that I did to cope with a situation that wasn't comfortable or natural to me at the time. And an interesting thing I forgot to mention is, so as I was saying, destroyer side of me is like, hang out with that dude and all that kind of stuff. And for her own, oh no, now we're talking in. Anyway, like what was the motive? I think just to sort of like get out into the real world. But like I'm not interested really, so I create this other person, and then I was in that relationship, and an interesting thing that happened is one time, my ex, he decided he actually didn't like the destroyer part of me, and so he's like, can you just not do that? And so I was like, okay, and very focused on not doing that. Problem is, taking that part away from my experience also took away the third persona, which was the one that was like trying hard to be in the relationship, and so I went like dead cold. I didn't mean to, I just did. And he's like, oh shit. So that was an interesting thing, and I mean, I guess it shows you the extent to which this side of me has influenced a whole fuckload of things that I've done and tried out to see if it would make things easier. I don't know. That's just another little crazy thing I thought I'd add there. Oh boy, I've really opened up a little bit more than I meant to over the past 12 hours or so. And now I really need to get changed. Like, you know, I'm in pajamas. It's... Is it still rainy outside? I don't know. I'm not going anywhere. I think today, because I didn't sleep so great, you know, I went to bed at 1 and then woke up to do Hope's meds and then went back for second sleep. But then Mikey has gotten into ASMR, watching people eat McDonald's. I think he likes the McDonald's part, but you just hear this horrible crunching, and he was playing it in the hallway, this horrible crunching ASMR noise, and I had to go out and chase him away and get him back to his room and close the door so that I could go back to sleep and not hear horrible crunching. I don't understand people who are into that ASMR stuff, but fuck you very much for putting it on the internet for my little brother to find and annoy everyone with. No one in the family likes it. It's just like he keeps finding it and he's like, I'd really like Macca's. We get it, just please stop. Anyway, I'm gonna have to edit this. It's gonna take forever. I think, is this video like gonna be like an hour? I don't even know. Paper Vampire, this is your fucking fault. Because I was gonna delete it. Because, yeah, too many thoughts going all over the place. And also getting into this kind of stuff that I'm heaps insecure about. Again, yeah, no, just not thinking about it for ages. And, oh, there was another thought and it's gone, hasn't it? Oh well, we'll follow that up another time. But since this has been all over the place, because I'm so fucking tired, if you guys want to leave questions about stuff, because I don't know if I've covered everything logically enough and in enough detail to make sense. Like, I might just be jumping from idea to idea, and you're like, wait, go back to that thing, what does that mean? If you've got questions about stuff, chuck them in the comments, but I won't be answering annoying questions. I don't, like... I mean, I guess ask them anyway, but if I don't answer, it's because it's not something I want to go into. If I get enough questions, I might do a Q&A video at some point, but let's not promise anything. I don't know how many people will have made it to the end of this video. Anyway, over now. Yeah. I was trying to think of like a good way to end and I've got nothing, so